Hey there, I'm working on the new light for my camera gantry. I just finished the lights in the ceiling and I thought I would take care of this. I'm looking for something here and I can't find it. Hold on a second, it's over here. It's going to replace this one here, and I made this last year, and this actually replaced one before it. This one is smaller and actually brighter than the one I made before this. But this new one is going to be using these light strips that I had to match the ones that are in the ceiling, so I'll get more consistent light for the fill light. This is something that I haven't been using lately, mainly because I have been forgetful about charging the battery for it. Every time I need to use it and turn it on, it's dim because the battery's not fully charged. The battery is a 12-volt one that's up on the thing up there, and I have a charger that plugs in over there, and I have to wheel it over there, plug it in. I have to remember to do all that stuff, and I don't. And when I need it, it's too late. So I figure this is better because it will run off of these batteries, which I always keep charged because these are the tools that I use in the shop, right? And I'll take the small ones or I'll take the big ones. So I'm working on that, and I thought I would do another talk while I work video, which will distract me and make me make mistakes. But I wanted to talk about something specific here, and it has to do with some of the comments that I get on things. And what made me think of this, or what made me think of it now, is the comments that I got actually, come on. Actually, on this project, I posted a couple of pictures on Instagram showing this thing here with the batteries plugged in to it. And people have asked me what I'm going to do to prevent over discharge on the batteries. And you have to, and this is a problem I've seen over and over. I got many, many examples of it in my time doing this kind of stuff, of people thinking in one track, I guess you could say. They're only thinking about one aspect of things, and I don't know if they don't know about or they just don't give it any consideration, but they don't think about the other factors that are involved. The more important factors, actually. These will never reach the point of being over discharged because they don't use the light that often. And that's the factor that you have to consider when you talk about something like this. These batteries will be put in there when I come out, if I'm going to be using the light, that is. It's not every time I will. Like, I don't need it for this kind of thing here. They'll be put in, fully charged, right, from the charger up there, or just sitting beside it. I keep them all topped up. And the light will be used for maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. There's no way that these two LED light strips could drain two of these batteries, even the smaller ones. There's no way they could fully drain them unless I left the thing on, which is not going to happen. So that's the consideration there. You have to look at that. You have to look at things like that. You know, otherwise it'll stop you from doing what you want to do. And the objective is to do what you want to do. So consider all the points before you draw a conclusion. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, it split the damn thing. Oh, you bastard. Well, that's what you get for using the big screws. How can I fix that? How can I fix that? It's the end of the world. I split the block. I'll have to throw it away. No, I won't have to throw it away. I'm going to put that screw back in, and I'm going to put a screw across to fix the crack. See the shit that can happen? you know, the block is small. What are you going to do? Anyway, getting back to what I was talking about. The thinking in absolutes, I guess you could say. I got to make a, I've been planning this for a while, a small drawer unit for all these smaller screws that I've got that are in these little packages here to make them easier to use. I need to find a screwdriver bit, and I've got one right here. It's a little long, but anyway, so the thinking in absolutes thing is let me just get this screw in here. Okay, see, that fixed it up. Now, you know what? You know, you can throw that away and make a new one, but why bother? This part is a very specific thing, and it really doesn't have to be 100% perfect, so why not try to fix it and work with it? You know, who cares if it's split, as long as the split doesn't actually affect it. Another example of the thinking in absolute things that I got many, many comments on was my disc sander. When I first made it, I got quite a number of views, and people saw the enclosure around the motor and they thought that the motor would overheat. I have it over there. I could pull it out, but I'm not going to. I'll just show a picture instead, if I can find one, that is. The enclosure on the motor, yes, it does restrict the airflow a little bit. And if you were to leave the thing running for like an hour or more, it may overheat. But you don't use a disc sander like that, especially not in a shop like this, for an hour or more. You use it for a few seconds at a time, and it's mostly off, so it never gets the chance to overheat. You see what I mean? You have to not only say, okay, if I close in that motor, it's going to overheat. That's not the end of the story. There's more to it. You have to look at the big picture. Look at the whole picture, everything. Try to examine all of the. And that's what comes with experience, because a lot of the comments that I get like this are from people that obviously have no experience. More experienced people just take it for granted, okay? How often are you going to use that sander? Of course, it's not going to overheat. So there's that. Lots of other examples. My compressor down there in the closet down there, same thing. Will the compressor overheat? Well, the compressor comes on maybe once a day. If I'm out here using it, actually, it comes on once a day. It runs for about 2 or 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, and then it shuts off. And there's no possibility of that compressor overheating in that closet down there when it's only coming on for 5 minutes at a stretch. That's the point. When you go to do something like that, you have to say, okay, is this thing going to be running all the time? Because if it's going to be running all the time, it needs to have lots of good ventilation. But if it's only going to be coming on for 5 minutes, maybe per day, then you don't have to worry about that. You obviously don't pack insulation down around it so that air cannot get to it. But you count on the space, the volume within the cabinet itself as the air that the thing will consume or breathe or heat up or whatever. You don't have to add vents or anything like that. There's enough air in there. Another example is my usage of shop vacs without any cyclone. And I made a video specifically about this a while ago. That's why I don't use cyclones. And same deal. You have to put things in perspective. Okay, I'm in my shop maybe in total 1 day per week. And I'm doing this full time. So I'm in here for, you can say a full day is like 8 hours, 9 hours. 1 day per week in total. And that's divided up probably, I come out several times per week, but in total it's about 8 hours. So I've got these small shop vacs scattered all around. I've got one there for my chop saw, miter saw, and that's specifically for that. I've got another one up behind me here for the spindle sander. I use the spindle sander once every 2 weeks if I'm doing stuff, I use the miter saw a lot more, but still I don't have to clean those filters that are in those shop vacs every day. So to me, it's not worth complicating things by adding something in there that's supposed to save me time. I'd rather, bank that time and put it towards just cleaning out the filter every 2 or 3 months. I mean, that's basically what it is if you're using your shop like I am. And that's what most hobby woodworkers are doing, basically. Unless you got some sort of production going on, you're using your shop sparingly, and you really don't need, and I made a video about this too, about central dust collection. I had something rigged up here and I had something rigged up in my last shop, but I don't see the value. I don't see it being worth the space it takes up when you don't have major operations going on that justify such a big and involved system. And that's my opinion, and it's based on my many years of doing this. So that should count for something. I know that some people just they want the big thing, but to me it just takes up too much space. The unit itself, also the pipes that are going everywhere, they look unsightly, and I much rather have a shop vac stuck inside there that I have to clean the filter once every few months than have pipes going all over the place, gathering dust, and like I said, taking up space and looking ugly, because you can't make those look good. What did you say? You want more examples? I can give them. Another good example is this thing right here. Not this one in particular, but the first one that I made, where I actually put the LED strips on plywood, and people, several people actually, said that you should attach them to metal because they'll heat up too much and they'll shorten life. Well, again, this thing is not going to be on continuously. I mean, obviously, if like situation up here with these lights, they're on continuously for as long as I'm out here. So they're going to heat up. So it's really a good idea to attach those to a metal thing. Something like this, I wouldn't worry about it because it's not going to be on long enough to significantly, okay, if it does heat up, it's not going to significantly shorten the life of the LEDs that are in here. And even if it does, what's the lifespan of these LED strips anyways? I don't know. Okay, say at the bottom end, they're like 20,000 hours, all right? And if you're running this thing, in my situation here, I might be running this for 10% of the time, the total time that I'm in the shop. So if that's 8 hours per week for the total time that I'm in the shop, that's how much? I won't do the math. Maybe I'll put it on the screen. Anyway, you can kind of get the picture. It's not going to significantly affect the longevity of the LEDs that are in this thing. Now this one, I specifically used a piece of aluminum, very much like the stuff I'm using here. It's actually the same stuff, for the backer, mainly to save weight, but also to shut those people up. Before I go, I'm going to tell you what I plan on doing with this thing. Obviously, I'm not using for that anymore, but I do have a use for it, and it's over my spindle sander here. This has always been a dark area since I built it, because of course it's shaded by the cabinet above. I just figured this is perfect to go up here. And then of course the switch is right on the side here for me to turn it on and off. So just need to get the right power supply, plug it in, and I can turn it on when I need it, turn it off when I don't. And it's a nice, bright, efficient light.